What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random by Kevin. This is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever-evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random by Kev and my website at randombykev.com. Today's topic is the tipping culture. And my co-hosts for this episode are...
Hey, it's Nell. IG all original _529.
It's Woody, Instagram, first one, spell PH with the number 1.
And tipping culture in the U.S. I used to work in the service industry. So did you?
Chevys, shout out to Chevys.
Chevys back in college. And servers. What did we get paid? We got essentially you get paid
$2.13 an hour plus tips.
Oh, you got $13 an hour?
$2.13, yeah, $2.13.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 13 an hour.
13. I said what?
13 cents.
Yeah.
Now they probably get that.
Yeah, $2.13.
Yes.
And essentially, sometimes some people would owe the company.
Oh yeah, you get the this is not a check
This
when
is
it
not a
came down to
check.
payday.
You get
Ooh,
and then
child.
that you would owe money, and that's how things work in the U.S. I know outside this country, people get regular wages even if they're servers, and when you tip them, they get upset when you try to tip them. Tipping culture is big in the U.S. Outside of the U.S., it's looked down upon. And this is all historical stuff back from the 1800s. If you look it up, they try to make tipping a big thing. In Europe, it started there and they brought it over here. But then there was a whole movement of them just saying, this don't make sense. We shouldn't do it. And then Europeans just kind of stopped doing it. And then the US just made it a thing where it's just like, hey, we can just pay people nothing and they just have to work off tips. So tipping, I don't mind tipping people if the service is good, the service is adequate, but nowadays there's all these service charges on top of a tip. So why?
I feel like those service charges on top of a tip is there to guarantee the amount that they feel like, I guess, a sit down for what the server is doing should equate to. But again, because I was a server before, I believe you need to work for your tip.
I agree.
There's no way that you are going to be laxed in service and think that I'm going to give you a $35 tip and you did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to basically look around for you, or, I need a refill on my cup and you're not on top of it. I know when I was working at Chevy's and when you were working at Chevy's, you were more so a bartender, but they had like the minutes, like, you had X amount of minutes before you had to walk up to the table. Then from there you had X amount of minutes before the appetizer had to come out. You had X amount of minutes before the dinner came out, X, Y, and Z, and the dessert, and always making sure that you stayed on top of it. Like for me, if I'm at a restaurant or whatever the case is, and my cup not empty yet, and the waiter or waitress is coming over like refilling my cup, you already got me. Because at that point you're attentive.
Yeah, you're paying attention.
You're paying attention to the needs of your customers. You're not lax. Like now I get, there may be some little oversights if it's a busy night or whatever the case is. They may have seated a large party in your section or whatever because it was your turn to get seated, and now you're overwhelmed with what you have going on. I get that, but to just basically just be laxed and not really pay attention or not come and check on the table,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
It's all about communication at the end of the day. And working at Chevy's, I was a host, a server, and then a server trainer. Mm-hmm. And then I worked in the kitchen for a little bit. And it's all about just being present. And people like when you're present. And then that's like, all right, this motherfucker paying attention. When my drink is not full, like I gotta get a new one. Oh, they bring my food over quick. All right, they brought my food over before that other table came over. Because we be on that. Like, if I get here before you,
how they get seated after me, but they got their food first.
If I get seated before you and you get your food before me, I'm upset. Now your tip get lowered. Nah, it's not your fault. I know it may not be your fault. It may be your fault, but your tip going low. Your tip.
I wouldn't lower their tip yet if, like, okay, if the other person got their, obviously you know who got seated when. Mm-hmm. If a table gets seated after me and they get their food first, I feel like you as the server should come to me like, hey, I'm sorry, your food didn't come out yet. Let me go check and see what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna penalize you for something that the kitchen may have.
Yeah,
whether it be the slip got lost or whatever the case is, it was an oversight. I'm not going to penalize my server for that. But if I'm sitting down and this person then got their food, you ain't come over here. You know I ordered my food.
Yeah.
You ain't come and
check
ask
on
me,
nothing.
check on me. Hey, let's see. You ain't say nothing. Now to you, you just avoided my table because you know my food not ready, or you fucked up and didn't put my slip in. Oh, now it's okay.
Sometimes that happens.
Nah, communication is
But
important.
what I'm saying is it's fine. Communicate that, hey, I'm so sorry, my bad. I got tied up. I didn't do this. Or, hey, sorry, you know, the kitchen may be backed up. Let me check and see what's going on. Communicate with me. That goes a long way as to what your tip will be.
Yeah. Wood, have you experienced a bad situation with the tipping culture in the U.S.? Where you had to tip
So
an
I would
exorbitant
say
amount or
I agree with you guys that the tip should be reflective of the level of service. Has there been instances where I feel like the service wasn't up to par?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? And in those instances, like, all right, like you remember that when it comes time to pay, right? But I mean, I'm one of those people, like, I don't have problem with tipping someone, especially if the service is exceptional.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm one of those people, like, all right, you did your thing, right? I got you. I'm gonna hold you down. I'm not gonna forget about you. But at the same time, if you know, I've been in situations where you sit down, and for whatever reason, no one comes to ask you if you need anything, right? No one offers you a drink. No one does anything. And it's like, all right, okay,
Yeah.
that's how you guys do it here. Or they come and then there's a long wait until you see them again, and like, you need a refill, you need a water.
Yeah.
You know, God forbid you're on a date. Your date needs something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when stuff goes downhill.
Hey,
That's when
excuse me.
because it's like, you can mess up my experience. Don't mess up the person I'm with experience, right? Because then it goes downhill. But I would say for the most part, I try to target places where I've heard good reviews.
Good reviews, yep.
So, you know, for the most part, the good has outweighed the bad. But again, it happens, man. It's just part of.
I know you guys have traveled outside this country. Do you feel like the tipping situation outside the country is different than how it is in this country?
It depends where you go, because I've been places in, like, even if I'm staying on a resort, like the person that brings your bag, they're they'll stand there and wait for the tip. Like, I mean, granted, I was gonna tip you anyway, but damn, now you're making this awkward. What if I didn't have it, or whatever, like, whatever the case is. But I always try to make sure I have some type of cash when I go internationally anyway. But I feel like they're just like they may not say it, but they'll just stand there and wait till, like, okay, is this person gonna hand me something? Then I'll walk off.
Yeah.
Again, they're not as, but like, it's not on your receipt.
Yeah.
But they do have indications where, you know, they're expecting you to give them.
Yeah, especially on the resort. Like, if you going to all inclusive, don't pester me. Don't pester me. That's the one thing I like. Don't pester me for it. Like, you gonna get it. Just don't pester me. It's coming.
Like for me, if I'm like, okay, obviously I'm on a resort. 9 times out of 10, you have the same, like, cleaning lady. You have the same, like, whatever they have the. So I'll know, like, okay, at the end of my stay, I may leave an envelope in the room for the cleaning lady. Like, I may not give it to her right then and there. Like, she still got a few more days to clean. Let's see what her service gonna be like.
Yeah.
Oh, leave her something there, the bellhop, like, different things like that. But
So there's been times where, depending on the situation, I might start off with the tip. Like, if I see the cleaning lady on day one, I might give her a tip. Maybe not like the full tip that I plan on giving her, but just give her something, right? As like incentive. So
like,
it's like,
oh,
she
look for
knows
that guy.
Oh yeah, this guy.
yes.
Yeah.
So you almost separate yourself from the pack.
rest.
I do that with the bartenders.
Yeah.
So then they'll be like, oh, you'll be like, oh, I need a
So
warm
when it comes
cover.
to you,
oh,
like,
it's such and such room. Yo,
Yeah,
cover
there's
now.
more enthusiasm,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, the
yeah.
energy's there.
Yep.
So now then the trip is like, all right, You added to the experience, right? You delivered your part. I could really tip you.
Yeah.
And like, you know.
I do that with the bartenders when it comes to all inclusive.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. And I mean, I gotta make sure they good because they know I'm coming behind that bar and taking my own liquor.
That's because you come there with your pouch asking them to refill it. So you gotta set the tone. Like,
I'm gonna be here. What's your name? Okay, I got both y'all. I'll be back every day, every hour. You'll see me. You gonna fill my shit up. I'm first.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes
everybody
you gotta
else.
do that. I've been out with coworkers where like they'll tip the waitress first. Start with like a nice tip. And then like we get a couple of drinks that weren't on the bill magically. It just so happens.
Listen, like as a server, that I used to do that shit all the time.
Yep.
Like, yo, order a couple extra things, just give it to them because they tipped me in the beginning. I was like, oh, all right, shit, y'all looking me out? Got it, cool. But yeah, I noticed like certain countries, and I haven't been to Europe yet. My friend tells me this every time he goes to Europe. Like they hate when you tip them, like because they get paid living wages. In the U.S., they don't get paid living wages.
yeah.
We were getting paid $2.13. Like, and then sometimes we would owe.
Imagine on Friday you sit here like, yo, I'm gonna get me a little check with my little $2.13 to add up to something, and you get that big thing across that says this is not a check.
Yeah, like, and you're living off of your tips. That I mean, don't get me wrong.
But even that whole tipping system is not even valid because it's an estimate.
It's an yes.
It's an estimate of what they think you should make based off the volume, based off, you know, how many people came in, the tables that you sat. But what if a table gave me nothing?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's better to get cash tips because the credit card tips they like essentially keep.
Yeah.
They don't.
Interesting.
They don't add that to your
They're
whole thing.
They're supposed to add it to your check.
They're supposed to,
but
they
add it
don't.
to your check. But they'll mess around and say like, hey,
nah, you're supposed to give
the
me
tables
all of
that
this.
you got cash tipped, they're gonna assume like, hey, the bill was, let's just say $100. The person should have gave you at least $10, $20 in that range. You got to pay out the bus boy. You got to pay out the hostess. You got to pay out the restaurant.
You got to share your tip with everybody.
Share a tip with
the
them.
people that clean your table, the people that sit you.
In a situation where let's just say I get a table and it's a $200 table and they left me nothing. I still have to pay out those people.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen now because something of like that's like once it goes over a certain price, you get immediate gratuity.
And they didn't have that back in the day for me.
So you get immediate gratuity. But like now, after COVID, companies are trying to recoup. So there's like a service charge, but there's a service charge. There's like a tip, and then there's like some COVID fee. There's other shit on top of whatever you're paying now. And then outside of the service industry, they're also like asking for a tip. So say if you go to like a clothing store and they're like, hey, do you want to give a 10% tip? It's like, bitch, what? Have you guys not seen that? Like certain places like clothing stores, like a 7-Eleven, it's like, hey, do you want to add tip?
I ain't never seen that in my life.
That shit's been popping up everywhere. Like
that's wild.
It's so
7-Eleven asking for a tip.
Nigga,
Are you crazy?
Did you pick up my chips?
But the thing is, it's places
Gatorade.
like that are like there's restaurants out there where you're just you go up, order your food, they bring you your food to the counter and they're asking for a tip. Like, bitch, you're not getting a tip. I just ordered my food. It's like McDonald's.
Like takeout almost.
Yeah, you take.
I've seen that.
Why are you asking for a tip? And some places are forcing a tip on you. Some places are forcing a tip or adding that gratuity.
If you pay your workers what you're supposed to, you wouldn't be sitting there forcing people to pay it to give a tip.
Yes.
That means in their hourly wage, it'd be equated that whether they get tips or not, they'll still be good.
But people forget the cost of living continues to go up every year.
Yeah, but that just means that people probably can't afford to tip either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's twofold, right? Yes, your business probably is going to need more money,
Yep.
so you need to generate tips. But your customers, if the cost of living is going up, they probably don't have additional
money,
income
they don't
to
have
be
enough.
tipping you,
Yep.
especially for like takeout. Like if
Yeah,
I just came to the store, you bagged my food up, and I'm leaving. I mean,
That is part of your job.
that's up to the customer's discretion if they want to tip or not.
So think about like you order something off of Grubhub or Uber Eats. It's convenient.
Child.
Like McDonald's, you get like the number 5, which is probably like $11 to $13. You order that.
I don't eat McDonald's.
I'm just giving a roundabout. If you order that, you go drive up, pick that up, $13. You get it through Grubhub, Uber Eats. Now you paying
They raised the price. Yeah,
a
it's like
service
$15,
fee,
$15,
a driver fee, and a delivery fee, and then a tip. And then they decided to, hey, depending on your tip, the driver might make it urgent. They might get it to you immediately, or they might get it to you later. So your shit might be cold. So now you're already paying $30 for a $13 meal.
No, it's all about convenience. You're paying for convenience.
You're paying for convenience.
At the end of the day, like
that's what it is. You're paying for convenience because if you didn't want to pay all
because you
those
still
fees,
have the option. You still got the
yourself.
option to get up and go pick it up. So that's on you.
You could have went and got it yourself.
And I feel like Uber Eats and all those things have been out long enough, so you kind of know like what you're dealing with.
Yeah, what service?
It's not like they came out last week.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie. If I decide to order Uber Eats, I'm already mentally like,
all right,
this is gonna be an amount way more than I would have paid if I just went and go pick it up.
Word.
Right? You made your peace with that. Mm-hmm. So, no, there are instances now, and Uber Eats gives you the option to pick up.
Yeah.
So you could put the order in.
You could just order and just go pick up.
Yeah, and put it as a pickup, and then just go get it. So.
No, I agree. I think that the tipping culture in the U.S. in general is just like, be mindful of your bill. I don't think people look at their bills anymore. That they're whenever.
Oh, no, I look
like
because you're not gonna charge me for something I ain't get.
Yeah, and I
or
think
if I told you to take something off the bill because for whatever reason.
But
the
crazy thing is the servers do get mad when you don't leave a tip. But I'm like, there's gratuity already on there. That your tip is there. Talk to your manager. That's all you get.
Additional. If you charge me 18%.
Yeah.
Where did I go? I went someplace and legit it was me and a person. A man took me on a date. It was just us two, and they charged us a gratuity for two people.
Yeah, they charge gratuity on everybody. You remember they used to charge gratuity if it was like 6 or
4 or more.
Yeah, something like that. But now it's just immediate gratuity. If it's just one person, no. It's like 18%. It's like, oh, all right, you got your tip. Don't ask me for nothing else. Because at this point, it's like I'm good. But like a lot of people don't understand. Look up the history of tipping culture, and you'll understand that it just doesn't make sense at all. And I don't know why we're still doing it. Pay people a living wage. And I mean, the service industry is an interesting space, but also like places outside of the service industry are starting to do the same thing, where they're asking you for tip. Or they're requiring a tip. Like you can't even exit out of it. There's TikToks out there where people are just like, they swipe their card, they sign, and it's like, hey, do you want to leave a tip? And it's like, what the fuck? Like I did it. Like I picked up my own goddamn clothes. Like what do you like? Who am I tipping? Like yes, you can go into like an H&M and it has something like that. I don't know what area of the U.S. that was in that I saw the video. It was like the person went into an H&M. They paid for everything. They swiped, and it said, "Do you want to leave a tip?"
That's wild.
I'm
so
like,
not even like charity or like some type of cause.
Normally it's a charity thing.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, maybe that shit was hacked. Maybe it was a fake credit card thing, skimmer. One of those fake credit card skimmers. I don't know. But the tipping culture in the U.S. is wild. And I think, once they figure out how to start paying people better, because you got to think about it, some of these people that, did we even have like health insurance?
No.
Did we have shit? Damn.
No.
Fuck.
We didn't have no benefits.
That's like a pyramid scheme.
We had no benefits.
I was low-key a pyramid scheme. We just living off. That's slavery.
Tips. We were living off tips.
That's literally fucking slavery.
Praying for like you worked a Friday, Saturday night type thing.
You got a big party. You hoped you got a big party and made money.
Yeah, made the money. And try to upsell drinks to sit there and try to make as much gratuity as you possibly could.
It was just convenient because it worked around my school schedule.
Yeah.
Like you could just work anytime. Like, yo, I'm coming in. And you're like, all right,
we need
another person. That's really
what it was. If my school schedule changed, they changed my schedule for me.
Yeah. Damn, that was legit slavery.
$2.13 an hour.
Yo, and what do you never worked a service industry job?
No, I've never worked in the service industry. I worked at the mall. We didn't ask for tips when I worked there, but I've never worked in the service industry. But yeah, I mean, I deal with service people all the time. Barber, hotels, restaurants.
Shit.
Yeah, don't get on the barber topic.
Oh man.
Kevin's triggered.
Nah, cause I mean, we go.
$10.
I mean, we grew up in a point where we went to the barber for like $10, $15,
Man.
and that shit just started going up.
Once they put them black gloves on, it's over, buddy.
Yo, and they started doing face massages
Yep, at
and
$50.
skin peels. I'm like,
instantly.
All that. Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck is.
Yeah.
Just cut my goddamn hair. It take you 15 minutes to cut my hair. Just cut my hair.
It's about precision.
Now they want to do all this extra shit. And that's why it's like, it took me so long to find, like, the barber you put me on, okay, he's solid. He's good. He does what he needs to do. He gets I mean, the price is all right. It's not what I'm used to, but I'm like, all right, you do a good job. You clean me up real nice. But there's a couple barbers out there like, bruh, you're not finna charge me. Why does it take you an hour to cut my hair? It's not that deep. Like, and you doing all this shit. You're moisturizing my skin. You're giving me a face.
You need moisture.
I don't need this.
It's an experience.
Cut my hair. Cut my hair and get me out the goddamn seat. That's all I want. I went to a place and I told the dude, he started like putting shit on my face. I was like, sir, just cut my hair. I don't need nothing on my face, nothing. Just cut my hair. I had to tell him that shit was like $75. I was like, your thing said $30 for a haircut. He was like, oh, I started moisturizing your skin. Bitch.
That's the thing, though. Don't start doing something and you did not let me know.
Yo.
That there was an additional cost, because I will not pay you that additional cost.
No, I won't. And then on top of the additional cost, you want to tip on top of it. You want to tip on top of the $75 fucking dollars. No.
That's just like,
Eat shit and die.
I got my hair braided like a few weeks ago.
Eat shit and die.
Called the lady, made the appointment. Like, how much would it cost for X, Y, and Z? She was like, oh, $150. I'm like, $154, and I repeated it again. She goes, yeah. So I had calls for me and my younger sister. She gave me a price and told my sisters was $180 to $200. So I told my sister, bring $200. That's because knowing them, they're gonna always shoot for the higher cost. Finish getting my hair done. I pull out my money. You know, I have my little money, my little $10 in there to get a lady a tip. Like, you know, whatever. Here you go, ma'am. Whatever.
Yeah.
I go to pay the lady. I give her the $150. She goes, oh no, this is not enough. I said, excuse me. She goes, oh no, this is $180. I said, I called you and made the appointment. You told me $150. So now she's arguing back and forth with me like, oh no, you heard wrong. No, I didn't. I repeated it to you more than once. Like, this is what it is. So she goes back and forth, whatever the case. I'm like, legit, all the money that I have with me now is the money for this lady for a tip. I said, aside from that, I had to go to the bank. And she's like, yeah, well, you're going to need to go back because that's not what we charge. I'm like, no, I don't need to go back because this is what you said.
That's
like,
nuts.
Like, I'm confused. We not doing that, man. So she ended up getting the lady's tip on top of her money. Poor lady, she didn't get no tip because her boss said that she needed the money because she quoted me wrong. If she told me that price, she said then she was mistaken.
Damn.
Yes.
You see, and that's you see, like, I get it.
No.
I get it. Like, these hairstylists, barbers, y'all need to come up too. Like, y'all need to make, because of inflation.
But this is why, if someone calls and schedules an appointment, if someone calls and asks for a price and you provide it to them, as an owner of a business,
you gotta stick to that price.
If you set a price and you messed up,
that's all you
miscalculated, that you need to take that shit on the chin.
Word.
Because in essence, what I see it as is me as a business owner, why would I ruin somebody coming back multiple times for a few dollars?
Yep.
I just lost a customer because now I'm arguing over a few dollars.
Yeah.
That's not that deep to me.
I agree 100%.
But you didn't just lose that customer because word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Yeah, exactly.
You just lost their network.
Exactly.
You lost their friends. You lost their bestie. You lost all of that.
Exactly. Now nobody coming over here. Now what? Over what?
People don't listen. I mean, I'm happy about the that barber app. Like, I was very reluctant to use that because I like popping into places and be like, yo, y'all got time? Cool. How much? All right, cool. Good. I'm in there. But it's like, now it's like, all right, you got to go to an app. To figure out which barber's available.
Trust me, I know,
then it's like,
I was getting my shape ups, baby.
Then it's like, then the barber got a bunch of different shit. Like, not just a cut. Oh, you need a haircut? Just a haircut? Cool, that's this price. A haircut and a beard trim? That's this price. A haircut, beard trim, and a face massage? Oh, that's this price. A haircut, beard trim, face massage, like a shape up on top of it. That's this. Like your blackout joint. Oh my god! I'm like, bruh. And then you still expect a tip on top of this?
Child.
Oh, eat shit and die.
Child.
Eat shit and die. When I tell you, these barbers be expecting some of them. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are good. Some of them I went to one before the one you introduced me to. I went to one before. His shit was $50. I was like, his shit was $50, but people kept oh, he's good. I went there. That man cut my hair. He ain't cut it the way I wanted. He took my hairline back. I paid that man $10 and said, fuck you, because you took my hairline. And I told him specifically, don't take my hairline back here. Anytime somebody cut my hair, they take my hairline back here. Do not take where it's at, leave it where it's at. Man took my hairline back here. I was like, just take it all the way down. You might as well take it all the way down. I'm only paying you $10. I was like, yo, you fucked my shit up. Your shit, I gave him 1 star. 1 fucking star. And I was out. He's like, oh, you're not gonna give me a tip? For what? You fucked up my shit. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to find a fucking barber. It's hard.
Nah, it's very hard.
It's hard to find a fucking barber that like knows your shit and just like cuts your hair.
Oh,
like, no, you want it to be fancy. You wanted to do all this shit. No, just cut my hair.
Yeah, I think barbers are at the point.
He's holding that info.
I was so upset. Like that shit upset me. And then you decide to ask for fucking tip. I should smack you.
Kevin's crazy. Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, these new age barbers.
Yeah, I think barbers are at the point where they want to like cut less heads and make the same amount or more money, right? Because it's like, if I used to cut people $25 a head, if I cut one person for $50, like, that's 2 hours that I used to take. I could make that same money.
Yeah. If I make house visits, baby, it's
in 1 hour.
Oh yeah, and then the house visits are like $80,
and
$90.
they it's almost to the point where they expect to lose customers because of their prices.
Because of their pricing, yeah.
And it's like the ones that are willing to pay, I'm fine with dealing with those people.
Yep.
Because those people that's willing to pay, in their essence, is also willing to tip.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we all need haircuts up to a point, and then I'm just gonna start cutting my own hair.
I didn't know that
because
I remember during COVID. Yeah. It was like,
oh yeah, I had my
getting a haircut was just like a thing. It's like, oh, you got a cut? this guy got a cut. Who you know, right? But like barbers' prices were crazy because like one, they were like damn near risking their lives.
Yeah, to come out. Yeah,
they knew like a haircut was scarce. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm cutting your hair.
Nah,
so they raised their prices.
Yeah.
But they never dropped them.
No, they never dropped them.
It's like COVID is over.
That was everywhere, though.
They never dropped them.
Everywhere, like, raised prices and never brought the prices right back down. They said, fuck it, we're keeping it here because people keep paying for it. Thank God I had my barber that would still cut my hair at the time. Like, he was like... the crazy thing is he was still, like... He was cutting my hair since middle school. Dude right around the corner from the church. Every time we...
I remember. I know you're talking about, too.
Charged me $20. Till this day, still charge me. Let me just pay. Like, he never been like, Kev, price went up. I just was like, yo, here, thanks. And then I came early one day, and dude was like, yo, how much to cut? He was like, yo, 50. I was like, all right. I was like, damn, when his price go up? He let me pay 20.
20 sound like a bargain.
Yo, he let me pay 20
right now for a haircut.
He let me no tip, just 20. That's what I was paying since middle school.
Yeah, them days is over.
Yo. So I was like, bro, all right. But the whole tipping situation for barbers, I get it. Yeah, I got to make a living too. But being a barber was like a side job. Wasn't it? I feel like being a barber was like a side job.
It depends.
Yeah. Still being a hairstylist was like a side job.
It depends on the barber. Yeah. Some barbers are full-time.
But that's if you're a celebrity barber.
No, like some barbers, like that's what they did full time. Like I knew barbers that work Monday through Saturday, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And like that's what they did.
Some people did it as a hobby, and then, some people did it
as a hobby for sure.
Yeah.
Like you know Joe. Like Joe was a full-time student. And he was to cut hair on the side at his house.
Yeah.
And then he made it a career. Right? And Joe to me is one of the best barbers like ever, flat out. Like Joe's to this day I still feel that same way about him. But like, you know, now he has another career and he does on the side. But yeah, I think it depends on the barber. Everybody's situation or setup is different.
Yeah, okay. No, I feel you now. I mean, again, when did the tipping thing with the whole barber thing start though? Like, was that during COVID? Cause I'm confused. Cause I ain't never had that situation.
Oh
I didn't
man.
realize it was like a thing. Did you always have to tip?
So I think growing up, when I was a kid, tipping wasn't as big. When I was like, I'm talking about like young. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
elementary school.
Okay.
And then as I got older, it's like, all right, you get your barber extra 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but like now, it's like to your point, it's like a thing. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, bro, you gotta like tip the barber.
Yeah.
Like, what you gonna do?
Like he got the price and then
yeah,
there's a tip.
Yeah.
Like the tip is not included in the price.
Child.
And I'm like, oh, all right, you got it, boss. All right, it is what it is. That's why, like, I'm very skeptical. Like, if I have to leave barber, if I have to change barbers again, like, I might as well cut my own goddamn hair. Fuck this shit. I might as well just go bald, leave my shit low, learn how to shape up, go to the barber school. I might as well go to a barber school like the whatever where everybody else is going to.
Cosmetology.
Yeah,
is the
cosmetology school. Teach myself how to do this shit. Tip myself. Fuck. Like, I mean, fuck that. I'm just saying. I be home. I be trying to mind my business. I don't want to tip nobody extra that I don't have the extra to tip. But as we come to the end of this episode, what do you guys want to leave people with on the tipping culture in the U.S.?
No, I feel like if it's warranted, if the service is exceptional, me personally, I got no problem tipping.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like the tip should be reflective of the service, and that's my 2 cents.
I agree with that last statement.
I agree. Yeah, that was good. But that's it for this episode. You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.